Hey everyone, and welcome back. Before we jump in, you know the drill. If you like getting the real story behind the biggest headlines, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. So, for what feels like forever, if you ask someone who's the richest person on the planet, the answer was pretty much automatic. But what happens when that answer, the one we all thought was set in stone, suddenly changes, literally overnight? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. A massive shift that saw a new name at the very top of the list. Seriously, think about it for a second. For the last, 4 years, the answer has always been Elon Musk, the guy with the rockets, the electric cars, you know the one. But on one very specific, very wild day, that answer was just wrong. Yep, September 10th, 2025. That's the day the financial world kind of had to pick its jaw up off the floor. We all watched as the rankings got completely scrambled in just a matter of hours. The guy who'd been at the top for years was, at least for a moment, officially knocked off his perch. And that brings us to the two main characters in our story. In one corner, you've got Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, a name literally everyone on Earth knows. And in the other corner, Larry Ellison, the 81-year-old co-founder of the software behemoth Oracle. As this all went down, one man's fortune was hitting a rough patch, while the other's was about to explode in a way nobody had ever seen before. So, you're probably asking, how on earth did this happen? Well, it all boils down to one absolutely insane day on the stock market. We're talking about a jump in wealth so huge, it didn't just break records, it shattered them. $101 billion. Let that sink in. That is how much Larry Ellison's net worth went up in one day. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's more than the entire economic output of some countries. It's just a truly unimaginable pile of money created in the time it takes to watch a few movies. So, where did all that cash come from? It wasn't magic. Well, it was the stock market. His company, Oracle, put out an earnings report that didn't just beat expectations, it completely blew them out of the water. Wall Street went nuts, and the stock rocketed up 36% in a single day of trading. For a company that big, a jump like that is almost unheard of. And look, this wasn't just a good day at the office. This was legit historic. The Bloomberg Billionaires Index, and these are the folks who track this stuff down to the penny, they confirmed it. It was the largest single-day jump in personal wealth they had ever recorded for anyone. Ever. Okay, so that's the what. Now for the really interesting part, the why. What in the world could cause a company like Oracle, kind of seen as an old school tech giant, to suddenly explode like this? Well, the answer is just two letters: AI. Oracle played its cards perfectly to cash in on the artificial intelligence gold rush. Oracle's big bet was on something called cloud infrastructure. Okay, think of it like this. The AI boom is the new California gold rush. Everybody and their brother are rushing out to try and build the next amazing AI. Now, Oracle isn't digging for the gold themselves. No, they're selling the picks and shovels. They provide the raw, brute force computing power, these massive, sprawling data centers that every single AI company has to have to even exist. They basically became the landlord for the entire AI neighborhood. And who's renting from them? Oh man, just look at this list. It's literally a who's who of the biggest names in tech. You got OpenAI, the guys who made ChatGPT. You got Meta, Facebook. NVIDIA, the company making all the chips that powered this revolution. And here's the real kicker. Even Elon Musk's own AI company, xAI, is a customer. They're all lining up to pay rent to the new landlord in town. And this isn't just a one-time thing. This chart shows us that Oracle has a backlog of $455 billion in contracts they've already signed. That's future business that's already locked in and guaranteed. It proves that this AI-fueled growth isn't just a lucky break. It's a long-term powerhouse strategy. But wait, there's one more secret ingredient to this whole thing. It's a financial move called a stock buyback. Think of Oracle like a giant pizza. For years and years, the company has used its profits to buy back its own shares from the stock market. That's like taking the pizza and removing some of the slices. Now, Larry Ellison, he held on to the slices. He didn't sell. So as the total number of slices went down, his personal slices got way, way bigger. Over about 15 years, this strategy nearly doubled his ownership stake in the company, which means when that stock price exploded, he got a much, much bigger piece of the pie. Okay, so for Ellison to shoot all the way to the top, somebody had to fall. And while Oracle was soaring to heights no one thought possible, the company that had defined the top of the rich list for years, Tesla, was hitting some pretty serious speed bumps. I mean, you can find two more opposite stories in 2025 if you tried. Look at this. While Oracle stock basically doubled in value, Tesla's actually dropped by 14%. This chart right here, this is the story of the shakeup at the top in one simple picture. So, what was going wrong for Tesla? Well, it was a mix of a few things. First, the electric vehicle market isn't a one-horse race anymore. Competition is coming from everywhere, and it's fierce. At the same time, demand from consumers was starting to cool off a bit. And then there was the backlash from some buyers over Musk's political stuff, which hit hard. Sales in Europe actually plunged 40% over the summer. You add all that up, and it puts a lot of downward pressure on the stock. All right, so let's put these two titans right next to each other. It's the best way to really get a feel for the dynamics of this incredible shift at the very peak of the financial world. So here it is, a snapshot of our two contenders. You've got the 81-year-old software veteran versus the 54-year-old guy trying to disrupt like 5 industries at once. One is absolutely riding the wave of the business-to-business AI boom. The other is wrestling with the challenges of selling cars directly to consumers. It's a classic tale of two completely different moguls on two completely different paths. Now, here's where the story gets a little tricky. It's worth pointing out that not everyone agreed on who was number one. While Bloomberg's index, the one that tracks wealth in real time, briefly put Ellison ahead, another major list from Forbes actually kept Musk at the top. So what's the deal? Well, it all comes down to how you figure out the value of a private company like SpaceX that isn't traded on the stock market. Forbes puts a much, much higher price tag on SpaceX, and that difference was enough to keep him in the number one spot on their list. So, yeah, Ellison had his absolutely historic record-breaking day. But this race, it is anything but over. In fact, there's a huge wild card sitting on the table that could change the entire game and push us towards a number we have never seen before. And here it is. This is the bombshell. Even with Tesla's recent struggles, the company's board has put forward a new pay package for Elon Musk, and it's insane. If he manages to hit a whole series of incredibly difficult, unbelievably ambitious targets over the next 10 years, this package can make him the world's very first trillionaire. It's a massive gamble to keep him focused and driven. And if it pays off, it could blow this whole race for the top spot wide open. So what we're watching really is a battle for the future of wealth itself. Is the ultimate winner going to be the guy selling the picks and shovels for the AI revolution? Or will it be the guy who's trying to push AI to its absolute limits in our cars, our robots, and our rockets? The race to $1 trillion is officially on. I want to know who you think is going to win. Drop your pick in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And if you enjoyed this, a like and a subscribe would be amazing. We'll see you on the next one.